Today we shall discuss about the use of standards in design or what is standardization in design. The basic machine elements or the basic machine components are usually classified into two. They are standardized parts and non-standardized parts. Standardized parts are those which are purchased from the market or which are available in the market as standardized components. While non-standardized parts are those which are manufactured in our own individual manufacturing facility. Basic mission elements such as bolts, nuts, gears, which you are purchasing from the market, are strictly following some standards or they are standardized parts. However, for specific requirements in design of the machine elements, sometimes the standardized parts are not matching or they are not suitable. In that case, you have to go for non-standardized parts which you have to manufacture by your own in the manufacturing facility available with you. These customized parts are called non-standardized parts. Standardized parts are those which follow some uniformity in the characteristics. Every part has its own characteristics like the type of material, its dimension, its shape, and the method of quality testing, method of marking, method of packing and storing. So these are all characteristics of a part or a product. Standardization is defined as certain obligatory norms to which the characteristics of a product should conform. If the characteristics of a product conform to certain mandatory rules or some mandatory standards, then those parts are called standardized parts. Standardization is the act of promoting the use of standardized parts in design. Designers always try to use standardized parts in their design because if these parts are to be replaced, they are easily available in the market. They can be easily purchased from the market. Therefore, standardization or standard parts bring some uniformity in the characteristics of the product or the part. Let us take the example of a standardized part. Let it be M20 bolt. What is M20 bolt? A bolt which has ISO metric thread with 20 nominal diameter. This is a standardized part. All over the world, an M20 bolt has same dimensions, same type of thread. Suppose you want to replace an M20 bolt with a new one, you can easily purchase it from the market once you give the specification to the seller as M20 bolt. Therefore, standardization promotes interchangeability of parts, easy repair of the parts, as well as easy maintenance of the parts. And it brings some amount of uniformity between the components available in the market. Therefore, standardization is to promote uniformity in the characteristics of a product. There are three types of standards in design. The standards which are followed only in a company, that is a company standard. These types of standards are followed by a company and its sister concerns. Some of the standards are set by the countries. They are called national standards. In India, BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, has put forward some standards called Indian Standard or IS. Similarly, Germany follows DIN standard, SAE and ASE standards are followed in USA, and British standards are followed in UK. Third one is the standards which are followed internationally. These standards are set by ISO or International Standard Organization. As I mentioned, standards are followed in various characteristics of a product. There are standards for materials, there are standards for chemical composition, there are standards for size and shape of the component. There are standards for the limits, fits, tolerances, as well as the surface finish of the components, as well as there are standards for drawing of the engineering components. Indian standard IS 210 is an example for standard for a material. And this IS 210 specifies 7 grades of cast iron. In India, as per IS 210, cast iron is available in different grades such as FG 150, FG 200, FG 220, etc. Where this number 150, 200, etc. mentions ultimate tensile strength of the material. Similarly, Indian Standard 1570 specifies the chemical composition of various grades of alloy steels. Similarly, there are standards for the shapes and dimensions of various machine elements such as V-belt, oil seals, gaskets, gears, etc. IS 2494 specifies the dimensions and shape of V-belt. Selection of fits for different applications are mentioned in IS 2709. Similarly, there are standards for tolerances as well as surface finish. There are also some standards in drawing of engineering components like SP 46 proposed by Bureau of Indian Standards. Let us discuss what are the advantages of standardization. First one, the manufacture of standard components on mass production reduces the cost. If standardization is promoted, the demand for standard components increases. Then, if standard components are produced in a mass scale, the cost per component reduces and finally it will benefit the customer. Therefore, standardization leads to mass production and cost reduction. Second, availability of standard components considerably reduces the manufacturing facilities required by the individual organization. If you are using more non-standard components, large manufacturing facilities are required by individual organization in order to produce non-standard components. But instead, if you are using standard components, then the manufacturing facilities required by individual organizations can be reduced. This is because standardized parts are available in the market. We can purchase it and use it instead of using non-standard components fabricated in own manufacturing facility. Third one, standardization promotes interchangeability. What is interchangeability? Interchangeability means the ability to replace worn out machine components with standard, new, and uniform machine components. If standard machine components are worn out, we can replace it with a new one which is also of uniform features, uniform standard. This promotes interchangeability. Fourth one is standardization reduces the time and effort needed to design a new machine. Suppose you want to transfer power from one shaft to another. You can use a set of gears or otherwise you have a provision to use chain and sprocket mechanism. Otherwise you can use pulley belt mechanism. These machine elements are available in the market as standard components. So you can use these components for transmitting power from one shaft to another. You don't need to design a new machine or a new machine element for this purpose. This is also an advantage of standardization. Last one is standardization improves the quality and reliability of machine components. Standard components are available in the market for a long time, so that they have already undergone lot of safety test as well as quality inspection, and their designs are also modified for better reliability. If you are using such standard components in your machine, automatically the quality and reliability of your machine increases. These are all the benefits of standardization. In addition to this, standardization also promotes international trading. A product manufactured in US can be used in India, and the maintenance work can also be conducted in India because standardized parts are used in that machine. If any machine component is getting worn out, you can replace it with a similar standard component available in India. Standardization also reduces the variety of similar machine component available in the market. A designer should always promote standardization because if standard parts are used, then the cost of that standard parts are less, and it will also promote better maintenance. Let us discuss in detail about codes. What are codes? Codes are actually the standards for testing of critical components like cranes, hoist, pressure vessels. Codes are also available for the construction of buildings and bridges. Codes are usually associated with critical components. What are critical components? If these components fail, there will be a casualty or a danger for the operator. In such cases, codes are used to ensure safety of the human being. Therefore, codes are actually a set of standards which are to be strictly followed in order to test the quality of critical products like pressure vessels, cranes, hoist, as well as safety of buildings, bridges, etc. Some examples are given here. Indian Standard 2825 represents the code for testing unfired pressure vessels. Similarly, Indian Standard 807, which represents the code of practice for design, manufacture, erection, and testing of cranes and hoists. So, what is the difference between standards and codes? As discussed earlier, a standard is defined as a set of specifications for parts, materials, and processes. The objective of standardization is to reduce the variety and limit the number of items to a reasonable level. In design, the aim of the designer is to use as many standard components as possible for a given machine. But the designer has the choice. He can select whether the standard component or the non-standard component can be used in his design. If standard components are used in design, the workability as well as serviceability of the machine increases. The designer can also select non-standard components for his design. That means the designer has his own choice for selecting a standard. But what is code? Code is defined as a set of specifications for analysis, design, manufacture, testing, and erection of critical products. Codes are always associated with the safety of human being, and it ensures the safety during the use of a critical product like crane, bridges, etc. Therefore, the purpose of code is to achieve a specified level of safety. Unlike standards, codes have legal backup. That means it is legally or strictly ensured to follow code while designing a critical product like cranes, bridges, etc. Therefore, codes are to be strictly followed while standards are just a choice. Let us discuss about the preferred number series. Preferred number series are used to represent or specify the sizes of the products. By size, it may mean power transmission capacity of the product, or load carrying capacity, speed of rotation, or any dimensions such as length, height, width, etc., or its volume or weight. For better understanding of preferred number series, let us see its application first. Consider a manufacturer who wants to introduce 9 different models of hoist into the market whose capacities range from 15 to 100 kilonewton. How do he select the capacities between 15 kilonewton and 100 kilonewton? whether he need to select 15 kilonewton, 16 kilonewton, 17 kilonewton, 18 kilonewton, and so on, or whether he has to select any limited number of capacities. How do he take this decision? For this, he can use the preferred number series. Suppose if he selects R10 preferred number series, then he can fix the capacities of different models of hoist as 16 kilonewton, 20 kilonewton, 25 kilonewton, 31.5 kilonewton, 40, 60, 50, 63, 80, and the maximum one is 100 kilonewton. Therefore, preferred number series helped him to choose minimum number of capacities between 15 kilonewton and 100 kilonewton. This is the application of preferred number series. There are 5 basic preferred number series. They are represented as R5, R10, R20, R40 and R80. We shall go into the details of each one later. What are the advantages of preferred number series? From this example, we come to the conclusion that the complete range between 15 kilonewton and 100 kilonewton are covered in minimum number of capacities or minimum number of sizes. This is advantageous to both the producer or the manufacturer and the customer. If the preferred number series was not existing, then he has to arbitrarily select any number of capacities in between. He may be in confusion to select whether 16 kilonewton or whether he has to select 17 kilonewton, 18 kilonewton and so on. But since he has used the preferred number series, he first choose 16 kilonewton, then he has gone for 20 kilonewton. Like that, he has selected limited number of sizes up to 100 kilonewton. This is an advantage of preferred number series. Therefore, preferred number series assist the designer in avoiding selection of sizes or capacities in an arbitrary manner, thereby minimizing unnecessary variation in sizes. As I mentioned earlier, the size may be anything. In our example, the size is the capacity of the hoist that is mentioned in kilonewton. In other cases, it will be a power transmission capacity, it will be in kilowatts, or speed in meter per second or RPM, or any other dimensions in meter, etc. Or even volume in meter cube and weight in kilogram. For all these applications, you can use preferred number series. Let us go to the details of preferred number series. Here, the first table, the table 1.2 shows the preferred number series such as R5, R10, R20 and R40. Each of these series uses geometric progression to develop the set of numbers. How to obtain the second number in the series or the third number in the series? For getting any number in the series, you have to multiply the previous number with a series factor. The series factor for each of the series R5, R10, R20, R40 and R80 are given in table 1.1 series factors. For R5 series, the series factor is fifth root of 10, that is 1.58. For R10 series, 10th root of 10, that is 1.26. Therefore, for R5 series, in order to get the second number, you have to multiply the first number with series factor 1.58. For R5 series, the second number should be first number 1 into 1.58. That should be 1.58. The second number should be 1.58, but here it is given as 1.60. This is because 1.58 is rounded to another integer 1.60. Therefore, preferred numbers are usually rounded off numbers. For getting the third number in R5 series, again you have to multiply 1.60 with 1.58 and then it is rounded to another integer. If you check the preferred series R5, you can find that the small sizes differ only by small amounts. That means the first number is 1 and the second number is 1.60. The difference between 1 and 1.60 is small because they are small sizes. Coming to the end, you can find that large sizes such as 6.30 and 10, the difference is large. R5, R10, R20, R40 and R80 are called basic series. Any series that is derived from the basic series are called derived series. I shall tell an example how to use the preferred numbers properly. Suppose you want to introduce water bottles into the market whose capacity ranges from 1 liter to 10 liter. You can use the preferred number series in order to fix the capacities. Suppose you are using R5 series, you can select bottle with 1 liter capacity, 1.6 liter capacity, 2.5 liter capacity, 4 liter capacity, 6.30 and finally 10 liter capacity. Once you find that your product is getting more popularity in the market, you can move to R10 series and you can introduce more number of varieties. Here you can add intermediate capacities such as 1.25 liter, 2 liter, 3.15 liter, 5 liter and 8 liter water bottles. In this way, you can select multiple number of intermediate sizes if you go from R10 to R20 or R20 to R40 or R40 to R80. This is all about preferred number series.